Paul McCartney, born June 18, 1942 in Liverpool, England, is one of the greatest musicians in the history of music, but his life was also filled with deep sadness. McCartney's greatest sadness was not just a moment, but the loss of loved ones, especially the death of his first wife, Linda McCartney, in 1998 after a battle with breast cancer. Linda was not only his life partner, but also his musical and life companion, who accompanied him through the difficult years after the Beatles broke up. Her passing left an unfillable void in McCartney's heart, causing him to fall into a long-term depression. He once shared that, in the months after Linda's death, he felt like he had lost a part of his soul, unable to imagine life without her by his side. This sadness was deepened by the memories of other people he loved who had passed away, such as his mother, Mary, who died of cancer when he was 14, and his close friend John Lennon, who was murdered in 1980. These losses were deeply etched in McCartney's mind, causing him to frequently question the meaning of life and the fragility of happiness. Despite his optimism and creative energy, McCartney was not afraid to admit that he cried a lot in private, especially when thinking about Linda and the memories they shared. This sadness was not only about personal loss, but also about a sense of helplessness in the face of time and death, a recurring theme in his music. McCartney also carried with him the sadness of the breakup of the Beatles, the band that had shaped his life. Although he tried to maintain harmony, the tensions and conflicts within the group, especially with Lennon, left him deeply hurt. He once shared that losing his friendship with Lennon and seeing the Beatles' dream shattered was one of the most painful moments of his career. These sorrows, though never fully expressed in public, became an inseparable part of McCartney's personality, shaping the way he viewed life and created art. Paul McCartney's career was a journey spanning more than 6 decades, filled with great success and painful failures. As one of the founding members of the Beatles, McCartney changed the face of popular music with immortal songs such as Yesterday, Let It Be, Hey Jude, and Eleanor Rigby. The Beatles were not just a band, but a cultural phenomenon, with hundreds of millions of records sold and a profound influence on many generations. McCartney's role in the group was not only as singer and songwriter, but also as the band's main songwriter, producer, and sound designer. The Beatles' success catapulted McCartney to fame, with numerous awards, including multiple Grammy Awards and a knighthood from the Queen in 1997. After the Beatles disbanded in 1970, McCartney embarked on a solo career and formed the band Wings with his wife, Linda. Wings also achieved success with albums such as Band on the Run, 1973, and hits such as Live and Let Die and Mull of Kintyre. McCartney's solo career continued to flourish over the decades, with albums such as McCartney, 1970, Ram, 1971, and Chaos and Creation in the Backyard, 2005, proving that he was not merely living in the shadow of the Beatles, but was an independent artist with timeless talent. However, McCartney's career was not without setbacks. After the Beatles broke up, he faced harsh criticism from the public and critics, many of whom felt that he could not have succeeded without Lennon and the other members. His first solo album, McCartney, although selling well, was criticized for lacking depth. Wings also faced difficulties, especially in the early stages, when members kept changing and concerts were criticized for their lack of professionalism. One of the moments that brought McCartney to tears was when Wings had to cancel some shows due to low sales, making him feel like he had failed to prove his worth after the Beatles. Another setback was the long legal battle over the rights to the Beatles' songs. McCartney lost control of much of his music catalog to major labels, something that left him feeling betrayed and powerless. He has said that seeing the songs he and Lennon had written being commercially exploited without his consent was one of the greatest pains of his career. McCartney did not let these setbacks stop him, however. He continued to write, perform, and experiment with a wide range of musical genres, from classical to electronic, proving that he was an ever-evolving artist. McCartney's efforts did not stop at music. He was an active activist for issues such as animal rights, environmental protection, and music education. He founded the Liverpool Institute for Performing Arts, LIPA, a school for young artists, and was involved in numerous charitable campaigns. McCartney's tears, whether in defeat or success, are a testament to his dedication and passion for his art and life. Paul McCartney is a man who is never satisfied with what he has achieved. For him, achievement is not just about fame or awards, but the ability to continue creating and leaving a lasting legacy. One of his biggest goals is to keep the Beatles' music alive in the hearts of audiences. He has worked tirelessly to preserve and promote the band's legacy, from releasing remasters of albums to producing documentaries like The Beatles, Get Back, 2021. He wants the younger generation to understand the importance of the Beatles and how the band changed the world. In addition, McCartney has always strived to be a versatile artist. He not only composes pop music, but also tries his hand at classical music, Liverpool Oratorio, 1991, film music, and even poetry. He wants to prove that age is no barrier to creativity, and at the age of 80, he continues to perform all over the world, attracting tens of thousands of audiences. Another achievement he aims for is to inspire young artists. Through LIPA and workshops, he shares his experiences, encouraging new talents to pursue their passions and not be afraid of failure. McCartney also aims to be a better father and husband. He admits that his busy career has caused him to miss many important moments with his family, and he is trying to spend more time with his wife and children. These achievements, big and small, are the motivation for McCartney to keep moving forward, despite the challenges he faces. Paul McCartney has had 3 marriages, each with its own joys and sorrows. His first marriage to Linda Eastman, 1969 to 1998, was the relationship that shaped much of his life. Linda was not only his wife, but also his musical partner, founding Wings with him and supporting him through the difficult years after the Beatles. Linda's death from cancer was the greatest pain of his life, leaving him depressed and disoriented. He once shared that, for many years after Linda's death, he could not think of loving anyone else because she was everything to him. His second marriage to Heather Mills, 2002 to 2008, was a tumultuous period. The relationship began with great hope, but quickly became the focus of media attention. Their divorce in 2008, which was followed by legal wrangling and public criticism, left McCartney deeply hurt. He has admitted that the marriage was a mistake, and that those years were some of the most difficult of his life. The sadness over the Mills relationship came not only from the failure of the marriage, but also from the feeling that he had let himself and his family into a negative spiral. His third marriage to Nancy Shevell, which began in 2011, brought McCartney the peace he had long sought. Nancy, a successful businesswoman, was described as intelligent, gentle, and understanding. Still, McCartney carried with him the sadness from his previous relationships, especially the guilt that he felt he had not done enough to protect his family's happiness in the past. However, Nancy's love and support helped him regain faith in love, and they built a happy life together. Paul McCartney is the father of 5 children. Heather McCartney, Linda's stepdaughter, adopted by Paul; Mary McCartney, Stella McCartney, James McCartney, and Beatrice McCartney. Each of his children brings him pride and challenges. Heather, born in 1962, is a ceramic artist and designer, living a relatively private life. Mary, born in 1969, is a talented photographer and filmmaker, often collaborating with her father on art projects. Stella, born in 1971, is a famous fashion designer with her own brand loved worldwide. James, born in 1977, is a musician, continuing his father's musical career but choosing a more independent path. Beatrice, born in 2003 from her marriage to Heather Mills, is McCartney's youngest daughter and currently lives a normal life, away from the limelight. McCartney always tried to be a devoted father, but his busy career made him miss many important moments in his children's lives. He once shared that one of his biggest regrets was not being able to spend more time with his children when they were young. With Beatrice in particular, he felt pressured to do better, because she was born during a period when he was facing controversy from his divorce from Mills. However, McCartney always maintained a close relationship with his children, and they often appeared with him at family events or art projects. His children were not only his pride, but also his motivation to continue creating and living a meaningful life. Nancy Shevell, Paul McCartney's third wife, was someone who understood the sadness he went through. In a rare interview she shared, "Paul was a very energetic and optimistic person, but I knew he was deeply wounded. Linda's death was something he never really got over. There were nights when he would sit alone, playing his guitar and singing the songs he wrote for her, and I knew he missed her. I wasn't trying to replace Linda. I just wanted to be there for him, to listen and share." Nancy also spoke about the difficulties McCartney